Pioneer fans, Pioneer women's varsity basketball is live and on the air. We are live here at the main gym at Pioneer High School, where it is your Pioneer women's varsity basketball team taking on Huron. Pioneer 5-8 on the season. They're coming off of a win versus Lincoln. That was a 50-34 win. They lost to Dexter, and then they had two wins before that versus Flushing and Ann Arbor Skyline. They are having a special teacher tribute here, so we're going to turn it over to the public address announcer here and see if we can let them carry this forward. Because as the son of a teacher, I always appreciate the teachers, and I wouldn't be where I am without all the amazing teachers in my life. So let's see if we can turn that over to them.
Written a little note to each of their teachers on the certificates, which you're about to receive right now. Number 00, Michael Davis, is chosen for strength coach, Coach Brandon Webb. Number 1, Molly McVicker, is chosen her Spanish teacher, Andrea Polizak.
Mick Vicker chose Andrew Postek.
Has chosen her front office secretary, Nadine Cialetti. Number 5, Jordan Davis, has chosen her English teacher, Russell Sansbury. He couldn't be here tonight. Number 11, Ray Powell, has chosen her physics teacher, Steve Armstrong.
Also, Steve Manager with the men's hockey team, former coach of the men's hockey team.
13, Isabel McEwen, has chosen her sports medicine teacher, Lawrence DeWolf, who couldn't be here tonight. Number 15, Sydney Cortina, has chosen her math teacher, Shannon Sherman. Number 20 is chosen, Lizzie Warderman has chosen her sign language teacher, Brooke McCulley, who couldn't be here tonight, as well as Grace Harley has chosen her calculus teacher, Ryan Hansen, who couldn't be here tonight. But we have number 23, Trinaje Bullock, has chosen her math teacher, Joe O'Connell. Number 25, Kiri Garwood, has chosen her global relations teacher, Ryan Sylvester. Number 30, Riley Rayford Ison, has chosen Rachel Pietowski, her English teacher. Also, 33, Callie Dewey, has chosen Bill Van Leeuwen, her engineering teacher. Zoe Griffin, 42, has chosen her biology teacher, Andrea Irvin Thompson.
Appreciate his help.
Mr. Smith. And we also want to give a special acknowledgement to our principal who's been so supportive. Please give a round of applause. Oh, here he come out. There he is. Mr. Desmond Smith.
That seems like D to me.
Again, teachers, thank you so much for all you do for our student athletes. We appreciate you and know you're a part of this team. Go Pioneers!
So wonderful celebration of the teachers here. As again, as a son of a teacher, I always really appreciate honoring the folks who have such a big impact on us, coaches, teachers, and all those people who keep us striving, learning every day, and getting better every single day. So we're very grateful and always love those teacher celebrations out there. And I know a lot of Pioneer teams do it, so that's fantastic. We are very lucky to have Coach Aarons with us. How you doing today, Coach?
Very, very good. And excited to see the teachers are being recognized.
Absolutely.
During my career, every season we would recognize teachers, and I asked the guys, who was your favorite teacher, K through 12?
Yeah.
And I just assumed it would be high school teachers, and probably more than half are, but I was pleasantly surprised that early kindergarten teachers, third grade teachers, and they would be so honored and take pride in coming and be recognized that night.
Absolutely, it's fantastic and something that I always have to remember. Like I said, my mother taught hearing impaired and then second grade for a long time before being a reading specialist, and so I have a good appreciation. I was also very lucky that she taught in a different district, so I never had her. But so we're lucky to have these two teams together here. 5-8 Pioneer, who has won 3 of the last 4 games, and then Huron is 1-13. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Their one lone win came against Ypsilanti Lincoln. That was back on the 10th of last month. And I know you got to talk to the coaches a little bit. Anything you want to report there before they start to announce the starting lineups?
Sure, I got to talk to Coach Tyrone Hicks of Pioneer and Jeray Fields of Huron. Some quick notes for profiling the Pioneer team. Coach Webster handed me some very good vital statistics,
Nice.
which I like to see. Number 00, Michael Davis, the sophomore, is averaging almost 5 points a game, 7.2 rebounds per game.
Nice.
Sister number 5, Jordan Davis, also a sophomore, averages 10.9 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. That's a double-double.
Absolutely.
That's pretty rare. Also, the mentioned Ray Powell, a senior, who is their leading scorer, averaging 11.49 points per game. And she's averaging making 3 3-point field goals a game. And
runs of the family is Micah Powell on the men's team, who does a fantastic job as well. Both fantastic three-point shooters.
Okay, I was wondering. I recognize the name. Yeah, it must run in the family. And Coach picked out 3 things. Again, they're kind of similar, both coaches, but Tyrone thinks defensive pressure is a very key element, rebounding and shooting a higher percentage. Going down to Huron, Coach Fields, who is a Pioneer alumni, graduated in 14, second year on the job. And number 3, Chloe Fearson, a freshman, is averaging 11.6 points per game and 4.4 rebounds per game.
Nice.
Number 13, Madeline Liu, a sophomore, is 5'2". She's shooting 34% from the arc. Number 12, Jordan Johnson, a senior, 6'1", averaging 7 rebounds a game. He thinks the 3 key factors tonight is to win the rebound war, have defensive intensity, and stay disciplined.
And we'll pause for a moment for the national anthem. As got you the and speaking about the MHSA officials there, and we can talk about that as they're doing steering laps. I'll mark them here and talk about that afterwards.
Coaches, parents,
You like me to choose from
Yeah,
now?
go,
Okay.
go for it, yeah.
Again, we got 3 veterans, Mark. Delonda Little. She's been on the court 21 years officiating varsity basketball. Edward Banks has been officiating 8 years. And the third is Michael Cushman, who's been at it 25 years. So that's over 60 years of experience.
That is fantastic. And again, lots of experience there. And I know you were posing a question to them, and we'll get to that at halftime.
For the River Rats, number 3, freshman guard, Chloe Frierson.
So Frierson coming out for Huron.
She's number 13, a sophomore, center, Isabel McEwen.
McEwen coming out for Pioneer.
For Huron, number 13, sophomore guard, Madeline Lou.
Lou coming out for Huron.
Number 11, sophomore guard, Ray Powell.
Ray Powell being announced for Pioneer.
Number 32, junior guard, Leah Anthony.
Anthony being announced for Huron.
Pioneer, number 30, a senior guard, Riley Rayford Isa.
So your starters for Huron are number 3, Frierson, number 11, Bata, number 12, Johnson, number 13, Lou, and number 32, Anthony. On the other side, it is Jordan Davis for Pioneer, Ray Powell, Isabel McEwen, number 23 is Bullock, and number 30 is Rayford Iso. The head coach is Jerry Fields, and Dwayne Simpson is the assistant coach for the River Rats. Of course, Tyrone Hicks, head coach for Pioneer, Fred Webster, the assistant coach. Ready to get going here, and appreciate you talking about the officials. Not only do we appreciate teachers, we appreciate the officials because we can't have the games we love without them. So getting set for tip. 8 minutes up on the clock. A little early game here, 5:30, but we appreciate you joining us. That back over to Huron, trying to make a move. That put up, rolls around as Frierson gets it, and that puts it into Frierson with her first point. 2-0. That ball over and out the baseline. That is going to be Huron's ball. 7:45 left to go here in the first. That is going to be Huron ball as Bada to put it in baseline left. Rayford Isom trying to keep that away now. Racing ahead with it is Anthony. Anthony over midcourt. Anthony on the near wing. Anthony comes top of the key, and that is going to be a moving screen that will go over to Pioneer. 7:37 left to go here. 2-0. Huron with the lead. That ball inbounded by Bullock, bringing it ahead. Here comes Powell. Powell over midcourt. Powell coming down the far side. Over to Rayford Isom. Back over to Jordan Davis on the near wing, trying to put it underneath. Over to Rayford Isom in the near corner. Rayford Isom. Bounce pass over to Powell. Powell on the near wing. Powell. Run comes to the left to the near side of the paint. Up, that bounces off the rim, off the glass. Would not go out of bounds. That is going to stay Pioneer ball. 7:14 left to go here in the first. 2-0. Huron with the lead. Pioneer inbounding baseline left. Rayford Isom on the inbound. Rayford Isom over to Powell on the near wing. Powell puts up a three, and she hits it. Powell sinks the three, and it's 3-2. Pioneer with the lead. Huron trying to bring it ahead. Pressure in the backcourt by Jordan Davis, and pulled around underneath. Put up and in, trying to get it over to Lou. Pull back away. Here comes Pioneer racing the other direction. Jordan Davis over to Bullock. Bullock back over. Powell for three off the back of the rim. Pulled down by McEwen. Back over to Powell on the blockades. Powell comes over on the far sideline. Powell being watched over there by Frierson. Frierson now over to Bullock on the near wing. Bullock trying to work her way around. Is Bullock being watched back over there by Lou. And up and in and one. So Bullock gets the basket and the foul. And it's going to be Lou's first foul of the game. 5-2 Pioneer trying to get that and one opportunity. Bullock at the line. Bullock toes the line, dribbles the ball, spins it now. Eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. As that is old-fashioned three-point play for Bullock. That makes it 6-2. Pioneer with the lead. Quickly ahead, trying to get to it was McGee. That pulled away by McEwen. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Powell goes over midcourt. Powell working your way down. This is a one-win Huron team versus a five-win Pioneer team. But you know what feels good if the season's not going well? Is beating your rival. Jordan Davis trying to put it up that a little too strong, coming the other direction. Here comes Frierson. And back over is McGee. Over on the far side, over to Johnson. Johnson back over to Anthony. Anthony just inside of midcourt, being watched there by Bullock. Anthony, bounce pass over on the near wing as that's Botto with it. Botto trying to come to the near side, poked away from behind by Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis over midcourt for Pioneer. Jordan Davis into the paint. That gets stripped on her way to the paint. Quickly the other direction is Frierson. Frierson down the near side of the paint. Good job to get back by Powell. Spinning with it, McGee kicks it back over on the far side from the far elbow. Shot there by Johnson, pulled down. Good rebound by Powell. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Rayford Isom down the far side of the paint. She steps back over to Powell for a three. Off the back of the rim, pulled down by Bullock on the near wing. 5:20 left to go here. 6-2. Pioneer with the lead. Bullock underneath, trying to get it into McHugh. McHugh, that knocked away. It looks like that's going to be a foul. So McGee picks up her first foul. 3 fouls on Huron, none on Pioneer thus far. Right underneath, that put up off the back of the rim, trying to get that rebound up and put in by Bullock. Excuse me, Rayford Isom got that one. So it's 8-2. Pioneer with the lead underneath. McGee gets it back over to Anthony. Anthony on the near wing. Anthony being watched back over there by Bullock. Anthony coming or working away around the three-point line. Comes just off the top of the key. Now Anthony calling off signals. Bullock trying tight coverage. That over to Frierson. Frierson right to the free throw line. Down the paint. Frierson trying to tip it up. There's going to be a whistle on Powell. Pioneer picks up their first foul.
Very good start for Pioneer. I'm sure Coach Hicks is pleased with this. They're attacking the ball, attacking the rim on offense, and when needed, they're being patient.
Good defense and a couple turnovers by Huron they've capitalized on. Frierson to the line, trying to get this to a 4-point lead by Pioneer. Frierson bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Nothing but net on that one. So Frierson gets her third point. Michael Davis in for Pioneer. One more coming for Frierson. She spins the ball, bends the knees, eyes the rim, puts it up. And that rattles home. Frierson with 4 points, and it's 8-4. Pioneer with the lead. Powell brings it ahead for Pioneer. Coverage picked up by Frierson right at midcourt. Powell on the far sideline comes top of the key. Over to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis into the paint. Jordan Davis, that tip back away on the ground. Hustle going. Jordan Davis gets it over to McHugh. McHugh underneath trying to get that over to Michael Davis, and that is going to be a foul. So Bate gets the foul. Ball over in the far corner for Powell. Powell puts up a long two-pointer. That rebound grabbed by Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis out on the far wing. Jordan Davis, good screen there. Comes down the baseline, floats it up off the side of the rim. That pulled down. Now here comes Huron the other direction. Racing ahead with it. Frierson down the near side of the paint. She puts it up with the left hand. Off the rim, off the glass, but a whistle. That's going to be a foul in the act of shooting. That looks like that is going to be McEwen. Excuse me, that was Powell, forgive me. Powell has her second foul. Frierson to the line. She dribbles, spins the ball, bends the knees. Off the front of the rim, would not go. Grace Hartley in as well as Cortina.
Isabella McEwen's doing a good job down here in the paint. she's using that 6-foot body to establish position with a wide base. She's got her elbows out and playing aggressive.
That one off the side of the rim down after hitting two. Those two caused trouble for Frierson, and coming the other direction. Here comes Rayford Isom for Pioneer. Rayford Isom over on the far wing. Now she gets it over to Jordan Davis on the near wing. Jordan Davis puts up a three-pointer. That tips off the front of the rim. Grabbed, put back up underneath by Michael Davis. Michael Davis into the far corner. Over to Jordan Davis. Now that tip back and out of bounds. It's going to stay Pioneer ball. That went out right at the free throw line.
Legacy Robertson, number 44, now in for the River Rats.
Now Robertson comes in for the River Rats. Taller, strong presence in the paint. Into the far window. That Grace Hartley trying to put it, and that's going to be a travel call. So that is going to be Huron's ball. 8-4, Pioneer with the lead. 3:28 left to go. Left in this first. As that inbounded by Lou, kept it. Now coming down, Frierson. Down the near side, gets it over to Bate. Now that underneath, trying to put that up, Johnson. Johnson puts it up off glass and in. Johnson with her first points of the game, and it's 6-8 with 3:10 left to go here in the first. Rayford Isom down the far side of the court. She's right in front of the Huron bench. Hands that off as that was flipped over. Cortina over to Jordan Davis. And that is going to be timeout called by Pioneer. So Pioneer out to an early lead, but the Hurons come back and got it down to a 2-point lead. What have they done really to try and tighten things up here?
Well, I think, like Coach pointed out, they got to play their own game, and they know they're not an offensive threat, and defense is going to win and lose games for them, and they're playing pretty good defense. They're playing aggressive, and both teams have played man-to-man the whole first quarter so far.
Good matchup so far, 2-point game. 2 fouls for Pioneer, 4 for Huron. 2:58 left to go here in this first. Jordan Davis gets it in, then gets it back from Michael Davis. Jordan Davis into the near corner. There's a long 2-pointer. That up, put in by Rayford Isom. So Rayford Isom has 4 points. Huron coming the other direction as Frierson has it on the far wing. Frierson trying to move it back over. 10-6 Pioneer with the lead as that's tipped back to Lou, and that is going to be a timeout by Huron. So Huron wants to talk things over, trying to find a way to get past this defense, get into the paint, get good shots there.
One thing we should mention, I didn't in the pregame, these are two very young teams. Huron has 7 underclassmen.
Wow.
Freshmen and sophomores. And Pioneer has 3. And Huron has a size advantage. They have 4 players that are 5'10" or bigger, and Pioneer has 3 players that are 5'10" or bigger.
It does take time. You have a lot of underclassmen. It just takes time to get used to the game and learn and always get better. And that is going to be a double dribble. That is going to go over to Pioneer as Rayford Isom with tight coverage, causing that double dribble to happen.
Exactly. I call that tight coverage, Mark, forced turnover.
Absolutely.
She forced her into that double dribble.
Rayford Isom brings it over midcourt for Pioneer. Coming down the far side of the court, right in front of the Huron bench. Over to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis to the near elbow. Now backs up. Working their way around the three-point line into the far corner. That put up and in by Rayford Isom. I think that was just a long 2. It was. I couldn't see her toe. Coming the other direction. Here comes Huron. Frierson puts it up. That falls off the rim. The ball loose underneath, out of bounds. 12-6. Pioneer has pushed it back to a 6-point lead. 2:02 left to go here in the first. That's going to be Huron's ball as Lou will inbound right underneath her own basket. Baseline right. Lou. Huron in the dark black jerseys with that gold trim, gets it back out right at the top of the key as that's right with it. Knocked away, held in. Now getting it back. Set on the far wing is right Works her way. There's a three-pointer off the front of the rim. Pulled down by Michael Davis. Michael Davis gets it over to Rayford Isom for Pioneer. Rayford Isom over midcourt. 1 minute, 40 seconds left to go here in the first. Jordan Davis, top of the key. Jordan Davis over Al Cortina for a three, and she puts it in. Cortina makes it 15-6. Backcourt, full court pressure by Pioneer. That'll cause Lou to inbound on the near sideline as Cortina and Rayford Isom double team Lou in the backcourt. 1 minute, 25 seconds left to go here in the first. Frierson double team. Rayford Isom pulls away, down into the paint, up off the glass and in. Rayford Isom with 8 points to lead all scores, 17-6. Pioneer with an 11-point lead. That over to Johnson down the near side of the paint. That put up off glass, off rim. Pulled down by Robertson. Robertson trying to get to it, back to Johnson. Johnson up, that off the rim again, off glass, wouldn't go. Pulled down by Michael Davis. Now coming down the far side of the court. Rayford Isom has it. Rayford Isom bounce pass. That will go out of bounds. 51.2 seconds left to go.
And number 32, Aaliyah Anthony.
McGee and Anthony in for Huron. Huron had it down to a 2-point game, but Pioneer able to extend that lead to 11 points and a turnover here as that one just went a little high. Bullock providing some good pressure. Bullock to inbound. Bullock over to Cortina. Cortina over midcourt. Cortina down the far sideline, hands it off as that handoff over to Dugan. And it's going to be a turnover on Pioneer. Huron with the ball in the backcourt as Lou gets it over to Anthony. Anthony over midcourt. Anthony picked up by Cortina. Now over to Lou. Back to Anthony, top of the key. Over on the near wing as Wright has it. Back over to Anthony. Anthony comes over on the near wing. Double dribble. That's going to go over to Pioneer. It's interesting. You don't often see a lot more double dribbles and travels. We have so far in this game. Cortina hands it off and moved over by Dugan over to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis moves it top of the key over to Michael Davis. Michael Davis looking to her left. Now Michael Davis hands it off. Back over to Dugan. Dugan back to Michael Davis. Now to Cortina in the far corner. Back to Michael Davis on the far elbow. That up wouldn't go. Put up off glass over to the near side. Grab there. Michael Davis up and in. That counts as time expires. Michael Davis with her first points, and it's 19-6. Pioneer took it as it was a 8-6 a Pioneer lead, and Pioneer putting on 11 straight points there. Any thoughts about that first there, Coach?
Well, it was a good first quarter, a lot of action, and you mentioned some of the turnovers. I think the two key elements there would be what I mentioned earlier. Defensive pressure can cause it, and
Indeed.
Some officials may call that part of the game a little bit tighter. And I know a lot of officials do, especially in the first quarter. Then they kind of want to set the tone for the whole game with all their calls.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially when you have younger kids, is that important to really call it tight early on, and then you can loosen up a little bit more, give them a little bit more freedom later in the game?
Well, Pioneers averaging 9.5 a quarter, and they've doubled that with 19.
Absolutely.
Huron is averaging 6.8 a quarter, so they're just a hair under. A couple quick stats: Pioneers out-rebounded them 7-2.
Wow.
And Huron has had 6 turnovers versus Pioneers 3.
Big stats there as Bullock gets it into Powell. Powell bringing it over midcourt for Pioneer. And we really want to thank him for all of her amazing work. That off the rim by Powell. Over as Bullock races over to track it down before it goes out of bounds. Bullock on the near sideline. Bullock gets it over. Now Dugan top of the key. Dugan works her way onto the far wing. Over to Rayford Isom. Rayford Isom into the paint. Stops, pops. That off the glass of the rim. Pulled down by Anthony the other way. 7:34 left to go. As they move it over to McGee. McGee, top of the key, over to Anthony. Anthony into the paint. That up off the rim, falls off to the far side. Pulled down right from the free throw line, McGee. That comes off to the near side as Johnson has it. Now that put up by Lou. That's going to be a three-pointer by Lou. So Lou has her first points of the game, and it's 19-9. Pioneer with a 10-point lead. Powell into the paint, up with the right hand, and off the bottom of the rim, but a whistle and a foul.
That is a tough shot when you come right down the middle and over the front of the rim. You know, we always encourage players get to the left side or right side a little bit so you can use the window when you have that opportunity.
Powell there for the first free throw. That up off the rattles off the rim, the glass, and in. So Powell with 4 points, trying to make it 5. It's back to an 11-point lead. Frierson back in for Huron. 7:05 left to go before halftime. 11-point lead, trying to make it a 12-point lead here for Powell. As you said, she was averaging 11 points a game. Bends the knees, puts it up. Off the rim, falls off the far side. Whistle there. Is that a lane violation? Looks like it was. Lane violation, so Powell will get another free throw here. Up. Rattles around, would not go. Hit the front, the back, the glass, wouldn't go. And here comes Lou. Lou over on the far side to Anthony for Huron. Anthony brings ahead. Pioneer up 20-9. Now Frierson on the baseline trying to put it in the paint. That tipped away by Bullock. Here comes Rayford Isom for Pioneer. Down the far side of the paint. Up, off glass, wouldn't go. Came over to the near side, but that is going to be a foul. 6:47 left to go here in the second. Anthony picks up her first foul. Rayford Isom dribbles, puts it up, off the back of the rim, wouldn't go.
Rayford attacked that rim very well. She used her speed and got to the rim.
2 tough luck misses. That one off the back of the rim came off to the near side. Pressure in the backcourt by Pioneer. Anthony has a triple team, but that coming ahead with it, racing over is Bate. Bate steps back, gets it right over to Frierson. That was top of the key. Frierson now on the far wing. Frierson, far sideline, gets it back over to Lou. Lou works her way around the three-point line. Here comes Anthony. Anthony to the baseline, up and in. Anthony now has her first points of the game, and it's 20-11, 9-point lead for Pioneer with 6:14 left to go. And over midcourt, Powell has it for Pioneer on the far sideline. Powell comes to the near elbow, down the near side of the paint. Powell ends up down on the court, and that's going to end up a jump ball called. That possession of points Huron's way. That will end up being a turnover. Good, both teams hustling down and diving to the ground to get that ball. Bade to inbound it, baseline left. Bate gets it into Anthony, then back. Bate bringing it ahead, down by 9. Huron over onto the far side, trying to work her way through traffic. That over to Lou. Lou into the paint. Looked like she was trying to get it over to Bate, either that or White. That's going to stay Huron ball. They will inbound baseline right. Anthony looks to her right. Now Anthony, that off the back of Gerwood. That one up over the rim, out on the near side. So a little trickeration there to knock it off of the defender, but didn't pay dividends, and that is going to be a foul on Huron as Powell was coming through. So that is going to be a foul there. So 3 fouls on Huron, none on Pioneer thus far in this period. Jordan Davis into Gerwood. Now Jordan Davis gets it back into the paint. Puts it up with the right hand, just a little too strong. She popcorns it up and gets it back. Jordan Davis kicks it off to Powell. Powell trying to move it as she was double teamed, trying to find Rayford Isom. But here comes Huron the other direction. Anthony has that knocked away by Rayford Isom. What good effort to get back by Rayford Isom and knock that away. Powell on the near wing, underneath the Jordan Davis, on the baseline. That spun out. She got her own rebound and put it in.
A good second effort. You got to stay with the ball. She did, and it went up very strong.
22-11. Pioneer with the lead, coming down with it. Bate puts it up for Huron off the back of the rim, gets her own rebound. That off glass and the rim wouldn't go. Pulled down. Here comes Powell the other direction for Pioneer. 4:58 left to go. Powell on the near wing. Powell comes close to the near corner, gets it over. Bullet as she charges through the paint, puts it up, and that falls just a little short. Oh, Rayford Isom flashing in, but couldn't knock it away from Anthony. Anthony on the far sideline for Huron. Anthony gets it over to Wright. Wright comes top of the key. Now over on the near wing. Wright all the way over on the near sideline for Lou underneath the Frierson. Up and in. Frierson, she has 6 points as she leads all Huron scores, and it's 22-13. Pioneer with the lead. 4:20 left to go here before halftime. Powell down the far sideline. Powell working hard against Frierson. Powell comes top of the key, back over to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis works her way onto the near wing. Now working her way back underneath, trying to get over to Bullock. Bullock in the paint. There's a whistle before the shot. I believe that was Anthony who picked it up.
No basket.
So no basket foul beforehand.
Now in for Huron, Anthony, number 0, number 12, George Johnson.
So Anthony does pick up the foul, and in is McGee
For Pioneer, number
for
13,
Huron.
Huron.
4:04 left to go before halftime. Jordan Davis inbound, baseline left. Jordan Davis looking for a place all the way out to Bullock on the near wing. Bullock working against Lou. Bullock dribbles to her left, looking for some room, trying to get to Powell. That knocked away. Here comes Frierson the other direction, down the baseline, down the paint. Puts it up just a little too strong. That pulled down, back over as Lou puts it up and over, and that wouldn't go. That is going to be Huron ball, baseline right, as Anthony will inbound. 22-13, Pioneer with the lead. Anthony looking to inbound, gets that over to Johnson. Johnson on the far wing. Johnson hands it off to Anthony. Anthony comes out by the blockades. Powell watching her. 3:35 left to go before halftime. Anthony to the free throw line. Now over to Frierson on the near wing. Frierson. That is going to be a timeout by Huron. Huron wants to talk things over as it is a 9-point lead by Pioneer.
I'm sure Coach Fields wants to get this point difference down a little bit before he goes in the locker room at halftime. And that's going to be tough to do with the way Pioneer's attacking that rim with dribble penetration, entry passes.
And they really set the tone with a couple outside shots, threes early, and then they really have been going a lot more to the rim now this last portion of this second quarter.
Which is a good sign. You want to do that. That's one stat I'd like to have is a team's overall free throw percentage.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, where do everyone has their own little different kind of ritual they do before the free throws. Do you ever have anyone who kind of reworks that ritual or goes through? Where do people come up? I know I watched Adrian Dantley back in the day, so I spun the ball like him at the free throw line. But
I got a good story for you on that. We've spent a lot of time on it because I think it's very important because it's exactly what free points, free throws.
Yes.
So we spent a lot of time on that, especially during the off season. But a former player of mine at Manchester, just played 4 years at Kalamazoo. Very good player, all-time leading scorer at Manchester. Started to struggle this past season, and by that I mean he's shooting 73%. I said because his mechanics are good, just add a dribble.
Yeah.
3 goes 4. Now he's up to 84%.
Turnover as Pioneer has it. Powell down the near side of the paint. She's bumped out of bounds. That is going to be a foul. That is, it's like a kicker with a ritual. Whatever you can do to do the same thing, make it repeatable, make sure you do it, and kind of calm your mind too at the same time.
But the mechanics are so important, and the what's between your ears, and that confidence level.
Absolutely. Is that inbounded, put up by Michael Davis, wouldn't go, a little short. Hold down as Powell trying to tip it away from Frierson. That goes out of bounds. That's going to stay here on ball. 3:50 left to go before the end of the second. 22-13. Pioneer with a 9-point lead. Lude inbound on the far sideline. Gets it to Anthony. Anthony has Powell watching her. Now back to Lou. Anthony comes top of the key. Over on the near wing to Frierson. Now bounce pass underneath to Johnson. Johnson over on the near baseline. That kick right back out. Anthony into the paint. Trying to get it underneath. That put up by Johnson wouldn't go. Good job underneath. Staying straight up by the Pioneer defenders. Pioneer quickly the other direction. Wernham out. Travel. And that is going to be Huron's ball with 2:48 left to go. Huron to inbound. Bringing ahead is Frierson. Frierson calling out signals. Gets over half court. Frierson. Rayford Ison picks her up. Now Frierson comes over onto the near wing. Trying to work her way into the paint. That put up a finger roll and in. That was an impressive shot. Frierson leading all Huron scores with 8 points. 22-15. Pioneer with the lead. 7-point lead. Jordan Davis for Pioneer has it. Jordan Davis trying to come down the far side of the paint. That's going to be a travel. The turnover as that's going to be Huron ball again. Huron trying to get this down to a more manageable Pioneer lead before halftime. Frierson over midcourt. This basketball a game of runs. Anthony on the far sideline. Gets it back over to Frierson, top of the key. That tip by Rayford Ison out of bounds. Will be Huron's ball on the far sideline with 2:07 left to go. Bounce pass over to Frierson, right on the blockades, over on the near wing to Lou. Now Frierson over to Anthony on the far sideline, all the way back to Lou. Lou on the near wing, top of the key, now over on the far wing to Frierson, back to Lou. Lou, bounce pass underneath, trying to get to Johnson. Whistle underneath.
Jordan Davis gets a foul. That's her first.
Jordan Davis picks up her first foul. That will be Anthony inbounding, baseline right. Anthony bounce pass over to Johnson. Johnson back to Anthony in the near corner. Anthony trying to get a screen from Johnson. Works her way all the way back just inside the blockades. Wernham out trying to provide tight coverage. She gets moved off on a screen underneath that, up off the rim, pulled down, grabbed, and here comes Rayford Ison for Pioneer the other direction. Rayford Ison down, stops on the far corner, puts up a long two. That one just a little shy underneath the rim. That's going to go Huron's way as Jordan Davis trying to get that ball but stepped out of bounds. 22-15 with 1:29 left to go here in the second. Frierson bringing ahead for Huron as she goes over midcourt. Jordan Davis watching her. Frierson over to Anthony on the far sideline. Bullock steps out, or excuse me, Michael Davis steps out to watch her. Now Anthony trying to get around Michael Davis, comes over onto the near wing, comes to the baseline. Michael Davis doing a great job to stay in front of her. There's a screen attempt, bounce pass, right back over. Now Frierson has it on the near wing. Frierson, and that goes out of bounds. Pioneers ball. And Jordan Davis keeping tight coverage there. 58.9 seconds left to go. Cortina in, replacing Wernham out. Also Rayford Ison getting a breather there as McEwen in for Pioneer. So it's Michael Davis, Powell, McEwen, Jordan Davis, and Cortina. Now Jordan Davis has it on the near wing for Pioneer. Pioneer up by 7. Cortina, far sideline. Gets it over to Michael Davis just off of the top of the key. Into the near corner, Jordan Davis works her way around, dishes it off. There's a three-pointer for Powell, and she rattles it home. Powell with her second three-pointer. She has 7 points on the game, and it's 25-15 as Lou has it for Huron. 30 seconds left to go. Hands it off over to Anthony in the near corner. Anthony works her way around the three-point line, steps back right on the R for Pioneer. Michael Davis providing pressure, screen there by Johnson. There's Lou for a long two-pointer. That one just a little too strong. Pulled down, back over there by McGee. McGee gets it over to Frierson. Frierson rolls it, that off the rim, pulled down by Michael Davis. Michael Davis over to Powell. 5 seconds left to go. Here comes Powell for Pioneer. Stops, floats it. That a little too, not quite strong enough. Out of bounds, and Pioneer with a 10-point lead. 25-15. They had a 9-point, or excuse me, they had a 13-point lead going into the second quarter, so Huron's gotten it a little closer. Huron with 9 points in that period, Pioneer with 6.
Right, right. So that's a big quarter for Huron. That's nicer to go into the locker room with that momentum. That quarter, I thought I saw Pioneer take their natural speed and use it a little bit more to their advantage. And again, they're staying in the attack mode, playing physical. I think was there about 27 seconds when Powell knocked down that three. That's put it where the current score is, up by 10, 25 to 15.
Indeed.
Pioneers press that they were running early in the quarter, still trying to distinguish if that's a man or maybe a zone press, but that's working. You don't always have to score off a press. If you can turn the ball over, slow the opponent down, it means it's working. One statistic I wanted to look at is points in the paint, and just look at the difference of shots attempted in the paint, and it looks like they're about the same. So total rebounds, Pioneers got an edge. Both teams said that was an important stat tonight, 18 to 14. Free throws, Pioneers shooting 40%, just 2 out of 5. And Huron's 2 out of 4. You would think with the aggressive play there might be more free throw attempts. But pretty low percentages for both teams. Huron has turned it over 9 times. And I think the majority of those have turned into points for Pioneer.
Indeed.
Points in the paint are equal, 10 apiece. Bench points, Pioneers got 5, and Huron has got 0. 3-point field goals, Pioneer has 9, Huron has 3.
And it's interesting. I was surprised the points of the paint are the same because Pioneer, especially late in that second, really made it difficult underneath the basket for Huron to get a lot of baskets away there. So,
but sometimes the difference is the second, third effort.
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you never know how the ball's going to roll, man.
Indeed, absolutely. Sometimes it feels like it has a mind of its own. There have been games where I'm sure players have felt like, how is there a lid on the basket? I just can't make it happen. So
I saw on TV the other night they did the top 10 longest field goals where the ball went up around the rim off the backboard. And the final one, I think, was 7 or 8 seconds.
Wow.
Before it finally rolled in.
Wow. And you got to be, as a player, you want to jump up, but you don't want that goaltending. And it's just,
right.
Yeah, just wait for it to get out of the cylinder and put it in there. Take a look at a couple of the folks here. Rayford Isom has 30. Powell with 7 for Pioneer. 3 points for Bullock. 3 points for Cortina. 2 for Jordan Davis and 2 for Michael Davis. On the other side, it's 8 for Frierson, 3 for Lou, 2 for Johnson, and 2 for Anthony. So it's been a good game between these two teams. Pioneer trying to get a big win. Obviously, Huron would like to get their second win, and they'd love to get it versus Pioneer. Whereas Pioneer has won 3 out of the last 4, and they're trying to build on top of that and keep the momentum going here.
And Coach Fields mentioned before the game he wanted to get out to a good start, and that's going to hold true here for the second half. And I'm sure he's talking about that in the locker room right now. These first 3-4 minutes are going to be very, very important for us.
Absolutely. Did you want to do the you make the call there, and then we can step away for just a few moments? So we have one of the cutest basketball fans out there running in front of us. Little young gentleman there.
I would say 3'1", 29 pounds.
There you go. He's moving well on that court there. Absolutely.
1.5 inches vertical.
There you go. Absolutely. The ball's almost half his size. So.
Well, you make the call, Mark. Here's a scenario. A20, Team A, number 20 is dribbling the ball in Team A's front court. When B14 slaps the ball away, A runs after the ball near the division line. As A20 grabs the ball, A20's momentum is about to take him into the backcourt. A20 jumps and while airborne calls timeout before landing in the backcourt. What is the correct call here? We have 4 choices. A, team timeout should be granted. B, A20 is in control of the ball when he grabs the ball. C, A20 must call timeout before landing in the backcourt. Or D, all the above are correct.
Excellent. So we'll give you a few moments. We'll play just a few messages from the MHSAA. We'll come back with our SEC scoreboard here for SEC Red and White for Michigan. Then we'll get back to that and make sure we know that. So let's play just a couple messages from the MHSAA, and we'll be right back. You're watching Pioneer Women's Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
So let's do our SEC scoreboard report here. Taking a look this past week, back on January 29th, it was Pioneer 50, Ypsilanti Lincoln 30. Dexter beat Monroe by a score of 57-37. It was Saline beating Skyline 35-24. Temperance Bedford beat Huron 68-22. On the 31st of January, it was Skyline 44, Ypsilanti Lincoln 29. Dexter beat Huron 69-20. It was Saline beating Monroe 36-20. And then on the 4th of February, today, it is Skyline hosting Dexter, Temperance Bedford hosting Monroe, and Saline hosting Ypsilanti Lincoln. In the SEC White, back on January 28th, it was Ypsilanti Community beating Green Hills 58-41. On the 29th, Chelsea beat Ypsilanti Community 51-13. Pinckney beat Adrian 38-24. It was Tecumseh topping Jackson 29-21. On the 31st, Jackson beat Adrian 45-28. It was Pinckney over Ypsilanti Community 57-29, and Tecumseh beating Chelsea. One game yesterday, that was Tecumseh versus Adrian Madison. Tecumseh won that one 67-21. So we are counting things down here. Let us take a look and get the answers. Huron's back out. And we'll see if I can answer this here. So you want to read that one more time? As I got you mid-bite there of popcorn. Sorry about that, Coach. I'm as good as a server at a restaurant as soon as you take a bite.
It is very good popcorn here.
Excellent.
Good popcorn, good basketball. Okay, here's a scenario. A, 20 is dribbling the ball in Team A's front court when B, 14, slaps the ball away. A20 runs after the ball near the division line. As A20 grabs the ball, A20's momentum is about to take him into the backcourt. A20 jumps and while airborne calls timeout before landing in the backcourt. Which is the call? A, timeout shall be granted. B, A20 is in control of the ball when he grabs the ball. C, A20 must call timeout before landing in the backcourt. D, all the above are correct.
So if A20 is in control of the ball, obviously they have to call the timeout before landing in the backcourt, or it's an over and back. So the timeout should be granted. I think it's D. I think it's all the above there.
Correct. All
Excellent.
above.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think you're 3 for 3 this year.
Don't jinx me. That can only last so long. But always good to learn more about the rules and make sure that I know as much as possible. And thankfully, it's not quite as difficult as football when you watch between high school, college, and pro. Besides the shot clock, there aren't as many differences. My wife is driven crazy where she's like, wait, is that 1 foot inbound too with football? And it can get really difficult between the different levels, understanding. So,
Well, we try to educate our listeners.
absolutely.
And I always share this with officials when I gather their information, and they always share it with each other. They like the challenge of doing this.
Absolutely. And the more we know, we appreciate it. We appreciate the officials and all they do, as we can't have the games we love without them. If you ever think that you can do better, reach out to the MHSAA, because they all need officials. As coming up, here comes Pioneer as they have the 10-point lead. And the ball, that over to Rayford Isom on the far sideline. Rayford Isom works her way down now, kicks it all the way back over to Jordan Davis off the top of the key. Jordan Davis over on the near wing, into the near corner. Put up by Powell for three. Off the rim, off the glass, fell off to the far side, but that rebound up by Jordan Davis as McEwen got the rebound. Jordan Davis puts it in. She has 4 points, and it's 27-13. Pioneer gets the first points of the second half. Anthony for Huron has it top of the key over on the far wing. That put up by Lou and in. Lou comes over as she gets a big point, and that's her 5th point. So 27-17. As Powell over midcourt for Pioneer. Powell gets it over to Rayford Isom on the far sideline. 7:10 left to go here in the third. Jordan Davis on the near wing. Jordan Davis has Frierson in front of her, comes over into the paint, puts it up with the right hand, off the glass, a little too strong off the rim, but a foul. That is going to be.
Davis spotted that gap in the defense and exhilarated right off the elbow and got there for the layup she wanted.
Gets the foul on Johnson. Jordan Davis bends over, spins the ball, puts it up, rattles it home. Jordan Davis with her 5th point, looking for her 6th point, trying to get it to a 12-point lead for Pioneer. She spins that ball, eyes the rim, puts it up. That one rattles home as well. So Jordan Davis with 6 points. And here comes Huron coming up the other direction as that's Bate with it. Gets it over to Lou, back to Bate. Bate all the way over to Frierson, and that up and off my fingertips, so you can tell why I'm on the mic and not on the court. So I think you would have gotten that, Coach, if I hadn't gotten you in your way. Sorry about that. And over to Powell over the midcourt line, being watched by Frierson over there as that's sent in by Rayford Isom underneath, trying to get to McEwen. And boy, she tries to tightrope on that baseline and just couldn't do it. She really tried on the tiptoes, but just that heel came down. That's Huron's ball. They inbounded over to Anthony in the backcourt. Full court pressure. There is Anthony down to the court. We'll see what the Powell picks up the foul. That is going to be Powell's 3rd foul.
And I like the strategy of the full court pressure. It's to me, it's not high pressure, but it's enough pressure to make Huron work and think.
Absolutely. And inbounding on the far wing, Bate has it over now. Here coming up ahead, that knocked away as Bullock got in the way. Lou trying to pass it up ahead. Bullock gets the hand in the passing lane, and Huron will have to inbound it again. As Bate to inbound, gets it in the backcourt to Anthony. That knocked away. Rayford Isom steals it. Over to Powell. Powell with a collision underneath. Frierson in the way, and we'll see which way that goes. That's going to be on Frierson. Frierson with her 2nd foul. 2 fouls on Huron this period, 1 on Pioneer, neither close to the bonus with 6:25 left. Underneath, up and in by Bullock. Bullock has 5 points now, and it's 31-17. Pioneer with the lead. Anthony ahead. Here comes Frierson for Huron down the near side of the paint. Up and in. Frierson gets, she has 10 points, leads all Huron scores, and it's 31-19. 12-point lead for Pioneer. Powell for Pioneer brings it over midcourt. Over to Jordan Davis on the far sideline. Jordan Davis gets it over to Rayford Isom. Rayford Isom back to Jordan Davis on the far wing. Jordan Davis into the far corner for Bullock. Bullock steps back right in front of her own bench. Bullock gets it, and oh, that's stolen away coming down the other direction. Here comes Bate. Rayford Isom able to knock it away to stop that fast break. but a really good job reading that pass and getting her hands in the way was Bate.
And as an example of that team speed, she turned it up a notch and recovered, and she did not get that shot off.
Absolutely. Good hustle by Rayford Isom. Now Anthony to inbound baseline left as that went off of the basket. That is going to be out of bounds, and interesting. Must have touched a Pioneer player. They've done that off of the back of a Pioneer player once. They're going to talk things over. Yep. Always love that when officials just make sure, check with each other,
Yep.
make sure to get it right. So Lou now looking to inbound. So McEwen kind of in front of her. That bounce pass over to Johnson, back to Lou. Now gets it to the free throw line, put up by Wright. That rims out. Pulled down by Jordan Davis for Pioneer, going the other direction over midcourt. Jordan Davis down into the paint, into the near corner for Powell. Powell puts up the three-pointer off the rim down to the near side. Pulled down by Wright quickly the other direction. But, boy, Rayford Isom hands in the lane, but Huron maintains it. Puts up by Frierson, up and in. Finger roll. Frierson now has 12. That leads all scores in the game, and it's 31-21. Powell brings it over midcourt. Frierson watching her. Powell into the paint. Puts up a floater, that off the back of the rim. Rebound, trying to put it up. I believe that was Bullock on the far side. That went off the bottom of the glass, but a whistle. That's so Lou picks up her second. That's going to be Bullock to the line. Bending her knees, puts it up off the back of the rim. Tough luck miss there. Cortina and Michael Davis in for Pioneer. 10-point lead. Bullock trying to make an 11-point lead. 5:07 left to go. Bullock spins the ball, alternates her legs, pumping him. Now puts it up. Puts it in, nothing but net on that one. Bullock has 6. 32-21. Huron with the ball as Bate has it knocked away by Jordan Davis, but a whistle. That's going to be a foul on Davis. She picks up, I believe, her second. 2 fouls on Pioneer, 3 on Huron. Frierson to inbound right in front of us. Frierson gets it up. That grab by Lou. Lou, tight pressure there by Bullock. Lou working her way, trying to get it to the baseline. Now gets over into the far corner, trying to work her way down. That is Bate. That's going to be a travel. Johnson found Bate in the far corner. She tried to come down the baseline, but good defense caused that turnover.
That's one place you don't want to get trapped, because you look up and you see the top of the backboard and a wall of defenders and a out-of-bounds line on your right.
Got to be a helpless feeling at that point. And over Jordan Davis has it, gets it to the free throw line. There's Powell for 3 off the brim. Pulled down by Jordan Davis. She's fouled as she goes up. Anthony picks up the foul. That is her third foul there. Appreciate that, John, the public address announcer. 4 fouls on Huron, 1 more. And Pioneer will be going to the line. 4:36 left to go here in the third. Jordan Davis puts it up, nothing but net on that one. Jordan Davis with 7 points. Jordan Davis spins the ball. Puts it up, that off the front of the rim, pulled down, trying to get it. Michael Davis on the baseline, gets it to Powell in the near corner. Powell working her way around, trying to get it underneath the Michael Davis. That picked up by Bullock and in. Bullock has 8 points now, and it's 35-21. Pioneer with the lead. 4:21 left to go. Johnson gets it back over to Anthony for Huron. Anthony brings it up. On the far sideline, Frierson down the baseline, puts it up, floating and in. Frierson is having herself a game. She has 14 points, and some of them very not easy baskets underneath that she's put off the glass. Jordan Davis for Pioneer, top of the key. Now over to Powell, underneath in the paint, into the near corner. That put up by Cortina, off the rim, off to the far side. Michael Davis trying to put that in, but Jordan Davis gets the rebound. She has 9 points as she leads all Pioneer scores. 37-23. Pioneer with the lead. 3:48 left to go. Huron wants to talk that over. What are you seeing in this third period here, Coach?
Well, if I'm with Pioneer, is we got to continue to keep playing like we have been. We can't make mistakes, and if we do make mistakes, we don't want them to turn into points.
Indeed.
And if we can, just use the clock here. But man, they're on attack mode, and you don't want to stop that either. You want to keep your momentum going. A lot of time left in this game. We're halfway through the third.
Absolutely. Would you think about shifting the defense a little bit more to double Frierson since she has 13 points and no one else on the team has more than 5? You have Lou with 5, Johnson with 2, and Anthony with 2, the only other point scorers.
Well, she's getting out on the break with those.
Absolutely.
The majority of those points. But yeah, she's got to be a focus. But I've noticed Huron's offensive pattern is they're really going to the right instead of mixing up their offenses and going left once in a while.
As that's grabbed, McGee gets it over to Anthony on the near wing. Anthony, double team there, gets it back over to Lou. Lou on the near wing, all the way over to Bate on the far wing. Bate working down on the far sideline, gets into the far corner down the baseline. That grabbed over as that pass pulled away. Here comes Jordan Davis for Pioneer. As she comes over to the near side into the paint, trying to put it up. It's going to be a foul. That's going to be on Frierson. Jordan Davis attacking, going to the rim, and she gets that free throws.
And that's another way to battle back. Yep, she got the step on her, and is that, I believe, her third foul?
Third foul on Frierson, so that could cause trouble. As here comes the first by Jordan Davis. She rattles it home. She has 10 points, leading all Pioneer scores. Frierson with the game high. Second one up by Jordan Davis. Oh, that rattles it. Looked like it was going down. Popped out to the far side. Good job to try and pull that down by Michael Davis. Michael Davis trying to get to Rayford Isom. That popcorn's up, and that's going to be an over the back, I believe, on Rayford Isom. So she has been really good at getting those rebounds, but that one, just a tough luck there trying to get it all the way over. Now picked up by Bate. Bate goes it right at midcourt. Now McGee gets it back to Bate on the near wing. Huron with it. Frierson comes top of the key now down the near side of the paint. Frierson trying to put it up off glass. There's going to be a whistle. Michael Davis picks up the blocking foul. That's going to put Frierson to the line, looking to add to her game high 14 points. 3 minutes left to go in the third. Pioneer by 15. Frierson puts it up off the back of the rim.
Got to slow down those mechanics, come up a little slower, and they'll make a big difference.
And she has definitely been playing fast and fast break points and off the glass. A couple really impressive off the glass shots she's made. Looking to try and get this second free throw down as that's up off the back of the rim, and that goes in. That gives her 15 points, and it is 38-24. Pioneer with the 14-point lead. Rayford Isom into the corner as trying to get it. Bullock gets it into the paint for Michael Davis. Michael Davis put that up and out of bounds. That's going to be Huron's ball. Tried to save it, but just couldn't get through the traffic to try and get up and dish it back to one of her teammates before she stepped out of bounds. Inbounding the ball. Huron on the baseline right. That over to Anthony. Anthony weaving through traffic, comes over midcourt. Able to be good ball handling as Pioneer put a lot of pressure on her. Anthony down the far sideline as she dishes it off into the far corner for Lou. Lou on the near wing. Back over to Frierson, top of the key. Frierson calls off as she's asking for a screen. Comes over down the near side of the paint. Puts it up with the right hand off the side of the rim. Gets her own rebound. Wouldn't go, but a foul.
Got to keep in mind that Frierson is a 5'6" freshman.
That's impressive. That is impressive. That is Rayford Isom's second foul of the game. Both teams with 5 fouls now, so they'll be shooting the rest of the 2 minutes and 23 seconds here in this third. That up and in as that one makes 16 points for Frierson. Trying to make it 17 points. 13-point lead as Frierson can get it down to a 12-point lead. Ball spins, put up. That one just a little short. That's going to be Pioneers' ball. 2:23 left to go here in the third. 38-25, Pioneer with the 13-point lead. Powell brings it ahead for Pioneer. She goes over half court. Powell over to Jordan Davis on the far sideline. Jordan Davis, the far wing. There's Rayford Ison for a three. Oh, rims all the way around, wouldn't go. Bullock with the rebound. That put up Michael Davis with the rebound. She has 4 points now. Good job, couple of second chance opportunities. Quick, fast break up as that's put up high off the glass and in by McGee. McGee gets her first points of the game. And it's 40-27, back to a 13-point lead. Pioneer has it with 1 minute and 52 seconds left to go in the third. Jordan Davis, top of the key, over to Powell on the near wing. Now on the near sideline. Over to Jordan Davis on the far side of the paint. Grabbed by Bullock. Bullock double team, gets it back to Michael Davis underneath to Jordan Davis. Up and in. Jordan Davis now has 12 points. 42-27. Lou gets it ahead to Bate. Coming over onto the far wing, over to Anthony. Anthony. Now coming on the far wing, that tipped away. Oh, it gets it back before it goes out of bounds. Bullock providing pressure on her. Anthony calling for a screen, both sides. Anthony puts it on the far sideline, onto the far side of the paint for Frierson as that goes out of bounds. 1 minute, 8 seconds left to go. Cortina in for Pioneer. Johnson back in for Huron. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go here in the third. Ball bounce pass over at the far elbow now, trying to get it underneath to Jordan Davis. Up, in, and one. Jordan Davis with 14 points, opportunity to make him 15 points. So Bate picks up her second foul. Even if she wasn't in the act of shooting, both teams will be shooting for the last 57 seconds with the fouls. Warnemount comes in, gives Powell a breather. Jordan Davis puts it up and puts it in. So she has 15 points. And here comes here on the other direction, 45-27. As quick into the paint, that put up, rolled off as McGee had it. That pulled down by Jordan Davis. Pioneer with the ball. Bullock bringing it ahead. 44 seconds left to go here in the third. 45-27. Pioneer with the lead. Warnemount on the near wing. Warnemount gets it over to Cortine. Cortine dishes it off to the near elbow to Michael Davis. Back to Warnemount on the near wing. Now here comes Cortine. Cortine at the baseline. Picks up the dribble. Dishes it back off. As Michael Davis back to Cortine. Cortine for three. And off the rim to the far side. Pulled down. Coming the other direction with it. As that's Bate with it. Bate over. Now here comes Frierson. Frierson over midcourt to Anthony. Anthony for Huron. On the far sideline. 9 seconds left. Anthony down the baseline. Puts it up. Rolls all the way around and in. And Anthony now has her next points, as that will be the end of the third. 4 points for Anthony, as it is 45-29. Pioneer had 20 points in that period, as Huron had 14.
A big offensive quarter for Pioneer.
Absolutely.
You know, they're averaging 9.5, and they just had 20 that quarter.
It was an impressive quarter for Pioneer. Lots of points in the paint as they really got it underneath, and occasionally with the big three-pointer to back off that pressure. But and Huron's really been trying to push that ball and get the fast break going as much as possible.
Oh, they ran like a perfect fast break with Fearson's lead pass down there. Indeed. For an uncontested layup. And if that's there, that they got to take advantage of it.
Heading into the fourth, what do you think Pioneer needs to make sure they do to keep this win? Just kind of keep what they're doing, or
keep it simple. Just keep it simple with fundamentals. Let's not make mistakes with fundamentals.
You just want to make sure that you don't get too cute. You keep the ball solid, because you don't want to give Huron any momentum to try and come back in this game.
Correct.
Frierson, who again leads all scorers with 16 points. Jordan Davis with 15, that inbounded. Anthony has it in the backcourt for Huron. Anthony working against Bullock over midcourt. Anthony Comes top of the key into the paint, trying to get to Johnson. Great job by Pioneer to deny Johnson. That ahead to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis has that tipped away, going to stay Pioneer ball. As that knocked away from behind by, I believe that was Anthony. Pioneer to inbound, so Powell inbound, baseline right. 7:46 left to go here in the fourth. Powell gets it over to Bullock. Bullock on the near wing. Bullock comes to the baseline, and she goes down onto the court. That is going to be a blocking foul on Bate. Bate has 3 fouls now. Pioneer again to inbound. Baseline right is Powell looking for a place to go with it. Powell lofts it over. That grab down the near side of the paint, put up off the glass, off the rim, pulled down by Rayford Isom. And a whistle. So McGee picks up her 3rd foul. Powell again to inbound over to Rayford Isom. Rayford Isom for 3. And off the rim, pulling it down. Bullock going up and encounters some pressure. That ball goes out the sideline. That is going to be Pioneers' ball again. Now Rayford Isom to inbound, baseline right. Rayford Isom. Inbounding, same spot where Powell did the last 3 times. Bounce pass, that put up, wouldn't go, off the glass, and that's going to be a jump ball as both Bullock down to the ground as well as Bate, I believe. Both again, those hustle points trying to get in there, and now Powell in a very familiar position. This is her 4th inbound in about 30 seconds in that corner. Jordan Davis has it, working into the paint, puts up with the right hand, rolls around and in. Jordan Davis with 17 points. She takes the lead with all scores and has an opportunity to make it an and one here.
And that was no easy bucket. She switched hands in midair and just laid it over the front of the rim.
As her momentum was going, across the court from east to west, that was not easy. You're right, absolutely.
Charlotte Wright, number 2, in for Pioneer. In for Huron.
So right in for Huron.
For Pioneer.
Grace Hartley comes in as well as Gerwood for Pioneer. At this point, Powell out there as well as Dugan and Jordan Davis to the line. So Pioneer bringing in a lot of other players that up and in. Again, leading all scores now. 18 points for Jordan Davis, 48-29. Pioneer with the lead. Anthony for Huron has it on the far wing. Anthony being watched by Powell. Bounce pass over on the near wing to Bate. Into the near corner. That put up for Frierson. Goes wide to the far side as Wright trying to pick that up. Knocked away by Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis over to Powell. Powell brings the head with 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth. Powell has it, top of the key, now coming over onto the far wing. Powell over to Jordan Davis in the far corner. Down the baseline. Up with the right hand and in. Jordan Davis with 20 points to lead all scores. That's 50-29. Pioneer with the lead. Now Wright has it for Huron. Gets it back over to Frierson. Frierson down the far sideline. Gets to the paint. That put up is bumped into Gerwood. That comes back. Now pulled down by Dugan. Here comes Pioneers. Powell quickly ahead to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis into the paint. Up with the right hand. Wouldn't go off the rim. Pulled down. Here comes Anthony the other direction for Huron over midcourt. Anthony has it on the far wing. 50-29. Pioneer with the lead. 6:18 left to go here in the fourth. Now on the near wing, Wright has it into the near corner. That put up off the top of the glass. That pulled down by Bate. Bate puts it up off the glass. Then that grab by Grace Hartley. Now here comes Powell ahead with 6 minutes even left to go here in the fourth. Powell gets it over to Jordan Davis now. Dugan has it just inside the block. He's trying to get to Grace Hartley. That just off of her fingertips. Out of bounds. That will be Huron's ball. Lou comes back in for Huron. 5:52 left to go here in the fourth. 50-29, 21-point lead for Pioneer. As Anthony brings ahead for Huron, right at the top of the key. Bounce pass over to Lou. Lou trying to come down the far side of the three-point line. That put up from the far side of the paint. Pulled down by Bate. Bate trying to get it back. Lou tracks it down just before the division line. Now coming up, Lou trying to bounce pass over Johnson. Up off the glass, rolled off the front of the rim. That put up by Pate. That fell off the near side and wouldn't go. Couple tough luck misses by the River Rats there. 5:23 left to go. That's going to be Pioneers' ball out of bounds. Grace Hartley will inbound baseline left. Some pressure in the backcourt by Huron. Powell breaks the pressure. Comes into the front court onto the near wing. Powell hands it off to Dugan. Dugan over just inside of midcourt. Over to Jordan Davis. Now on the far wing. That grab by Grace Hartley into the far corner for Dugan. Dugan over to Jordan Davis right in front of her coach. Jordan Davis down the near side of the paint. That put up by Grace Hartley. Off the rim. Far popped up high to the far side. Jordan Davis gets it back off the front of the rim. Trying to pull that down. That's going to be jump ball or a foul? That's going to be a foul.
Jordan Davis gets the foul. It's her third.
Jordan Davis picks up her third foul. That is 1 on Pioneer, 3 on Huron with 4:53 left to go. Anthony to inbound baseline right. Now Frierson gets it back to Anthony. As we approach the 4-minute, 45-second mark, Anthony for Huron. In on the near wing to Bate. Anthony trying to get it back. Dugan trying to steal it away. Anthony with it. She's just inside the blockades. Now over to Lou. Lou on the far sideline. That tipped up. Good job by Powell to knock that away. Powell over midcourt. Powell now trying to get it out of bounds. She was trying to get bounce pass. That tipped away by Huron. That will be Pioneers' ball baseline right with 4:27 left to go here in the fourth. Powell to inbound. Powell over into near corner as working way down the baseline. It's Dugan. Dugan trying to get it over to Hartley. That's stolen away. Racing ahead. Here comes Frierson. Frierson as Bullock comes back to try and get position. That off the glass wouldn't go. I believe that's going to be a foul on Bullock. Indeed, as she tried to get in front, but just couldn't get her feet planted. I have that as her first foul. Two fouls on Pioneer, 3 on Huron. Frierson to the line. First shot is up and misses just to the near side. Frierson trying to get down to a 20-point lead. She has 16 points. Jordan Davis with 20 points. Both of them the only 2 players in the double digits as far as points go. Frierson again alternates pumping the legs, bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in, nothing but net on that one. Frierson with 17 points to lead all Huron scores. Pressure in the backcourt by Frierson. 4:15 left to go as Powell for Pioneer gets over midcourt. Powell for Pioneer comes to the far side of the paint. That off both sides of the rim, falls off the near side, out of bounds. That is going to be Huron's ball. They're down by 20, 50-30 with 4:07 left to go. Anthony brings it ahead. Anthony comes top of the key for Huron. Anthony over on the near wing to Lou. Back to Anthony. Anthony trying to get it into the paint. That knocked away. Good job by Gerwood. Anthony puts it up a little too strong on the glass. That tracked down by Dugan. Dugan gets it over to Powell for Pioneers. She brings it up the court. Frierson picks her up at midcourt. That grabbed as Powell on the far sideline. Powell racing down the far sideline, gets a screen over to Bullock. Bullock into the far side of the paint, puts it up, then off the side of the glass, but a whistle and a foul.
Jordan Johnson gets the foul. That's her third.
Johnson picks up her third foul. That is the 4th on Huron, so one more will put Pioneer in the bonus. Bullock again pumps the legs, dribbles, eyes the rim, puts it up. High arcing shot that goes in for Bullock. Bullock with 9 points, trying to make it 10.
Not much scoring this quarter. That's 6-1 Pioneer in the fourth with 3:34 to go.
Bullock trying to get another one here to press that lead out to 22 points with 3:34 left to go. And high up off the front of the rim. Pulled down by Wright. Now coming the other direction. Here comes Bate. Bate Over midcourt for Huron. Over to right on the near wing. Right. Bounce pass over to Pate. Pate gets it over to Lou on the far sideline. Back to Pate. Top of the key. Trying to get it into the paint. Great job by Gerwood to deny that pass in the paint. Coming the other direction. Dugan trying to get it over. Stolen away by Frierson. Frierson comes down the far side. That finger rolling in with Gerwood right in her face. That was impressive. That's 19 points for Frierson. Pioneer with the ball. 19-point lead. 14 coming down on the near side of the paint. That blocked away out of bounds as Frierson with the block there. Hesterly comes in for Huron in a 30-second timeout for Huron as they want to talk things over. With 2:58 left to go here. Again, Huron's gotten it down to a 19-point lead. Pioneer's still kind of pushing the ball and taking some quick shots. At what point in time do you try and get them to slow down and kind of take more time? Or at this point, they have the lead. You just let them play as pace dictates.
Well, at this point, I kind of leave it up to the players.
Sure.
Let them dictate. Unless there's a sudden turn of events, that may call a timeout and talk about things.
Cortine into inbound baseline rights. Lou in front of her. That bounce pass over into the near corner for Dugan. Dugan down the near baseline trying to get it into the paint as Grace Hartley, that tied up. That is going to be Huron's ball on that jump ball as possession arrow favors them. Right? No, Pioneer. Excuse me. Forgive me. Pioneer's ball. No, it is Huron. Okay, I was right. I thought I was crazy for a second. Well, crazier than we already knew. That's brought ahead, coming ahead with it. Here comes Frierson. Frierson over midcourt. Down by 19. Lou on the near wing for Huron. Double team. Lou trying to get back to Frierson. Frierson comes top of the key. Frierson down the far side of the paint. Trying to put that up. Contact. Frierson gets the foul. That's going to be Bullock who picks up the foul. Bullock with her second foul. She comes over to talk to Coach. And she's talking with Coach Hicks back there. Now Frierson trying to add to her point total. Up and in, nothing but net on that one. Frierson now has tied Jordan Davis for the game-high lead. One more shot coming. She has it down to an 18-point lead, trying to make it a 17-point lead with 2:36 left to go. Frierson bends the knees, eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. She now has a game-high 21 points. Does Frierson, and has it to a 51-34-point lead for Pioneer. Bullock gets it over to Gerwood. Gerwood gets it over to Cortine. Cortine coming over onto the near wing. Frierson, tight pressure. That tipped down, but grabbed by Grace Hartley into the near corner. Dugan puts it up. That a little too tall. Pulled back over. Cortine has it on the far sideline. Over to Gerwood, top the key. Gerwood, bounce pass. Back over to Grace Hartley on the far wing. Grace Hartley looking for a place to go with it. Grace Hartley now comes top of the key. Moves it over to Dugan. Dugan just off the near wing. Dugan comes and floats it into the paint. That put up by Bullock, just a little too strong off the back of the rim. Grace Hartley gets it back over. Now Cortine stops, takes a jumper. That rims off to the far side. Pulled down by Robinson, and that is going to be a foul on Pioneer. That's going to be on Cortine. Cortina.
Now we're seeing some players on the floor that don't see a lot of minutes, and they're showing patience. They're trying to execute their offense.
Very valuable time in game time versus arrival for some of the younger players. Down on the near wing, gets it back over to Wright. Wright trying to feed it over to Clay. Now Wright has it on the far sideline. Wright steps back, gets a screen from Hesterly. Now Wright on the far wing, tipped back, trying to get to it is Dugan. Wright gets it back. Now moves it over, coming down. That shot from the far elbow, up and in as that was Bate, her first points of the game. And now it's 51-36 with 1 minute, 11 seconds left to go. Pioneer with the lead. Grace Hartley with the ball, gets it back over to Dugan on the near wing. Dugan working against Hesterly. Dugan picked up the ball, and that's going to be double dribble, as that will be Huron's ball with 1 minute left to go. Bate, you bring the ball in on the near sideline as McVicker comes in for Pioneer, as well as that's going to be Gabby Hartley. So both Gabby Hartley and Grace Hartley in for Pioneer. As that ball brought ahead by Bate, 55 seconds left to go. Bate into the far corner. As that back over to Bate on the far wing. Back into the far corner for Lou for three. And Lou gets that. Lou now has 8 points, and it's 51-39. McVicker brings it ahead, and a whistle. And a foul, it is indeed. So Lou has her third foul. 4 fouls on Pioneer, 5 on Huron. So that's going to put Pioneer to the line shooting 2. With 37.5 seconds left to go. McVicker. It's a good amount of time on the JV squad. Getting some action with the varsity today. McVicker bends the knees, spins the ball. Eyes the rim, puts it up. That just off the front of the rim. Just a little too much arc on that one. It's a couple little encouragement from her teammates, and she'll take another one here. Trying to get to 52 points. That one in as McVicker has her first point of the game. Quickly ahead, Frierson has it on the far wing. Frierson, far sideline, that picked up over to Lou. Stolen away, here comes Powell. Powell down the far sideline as trying to dive down, or excuse me, not Powell, Gabby Hartley coming down that far side. So and Gabby Hartley doing some work down on the ground to try and get that ball as she's coming off the bench. McVicker to inbound baseline right. McVicker gets it over to Grace Hartley. Now over to Dugan. Dugan just inside the blockades. 19 seconds left. Hands it off to Gabby Hartley. That's stolen away. Here comes Frierson down the near side of the paint. That put up rolls off the front of the rim. Lou trying to get it. Can't put it up, but that will be a foul. 11.4 seconds left to go. So Gabby Hartley picks up her first foul. Lou to the line. She has 8 points. She could get into double digits with 10 if she hits both of those. First one is up and in for Lou. She has 9 points. Trying to be just the second player besides the two team leaders. Trying to be the third player in this game to hit double digits. Lou off the front to back, and she now has 10 points. 52-41, 11-point lead for Pioneer. Full court pressure by Huron now. It's sent ahead by McVicker. 7 points left to go. Gerwood has it. Gerwood trying to get it over, and there is a foul. So Lou picks up her fourth foul. That is going to put Gerwood to the line with 2.5 seconds left to go. As Coach Fields expresses his thoughts on the matter from the bench. Gerwood at the line. Bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. That is going to be first points for Gerwood. Next one coming for Gerwood is rattles around. That makes it 54. Gerwood with 2. So 13-point lead, and that will do it. Pioneer wins by a score of 54-41. Taking a look at your top scores on Pioneer side, 20 points for Jordan Davis, 9 points for Bullock, 8 points for Rayford Isom, 4 points for Michael Davis, and 3 for Cortina. On the other side, it is 21 points to lead all scores by Frierson, 10 by Lou, 4 for Anthony, 2 for Johnson, 2 for Bate, and 2 for McGee. Your final thoughts on that game there, Coach, or stats?
Well, it was a good game. It's refreshing to see so many young players
Absolutely
perform very well under the circumstances, and you can see all the I think I counted 7 jump balls with the majority of them on the floor.
Indeed.
You know, both teams wanting that possession. They know how valuable it is. And sometimes you don't see that with underclassmen.
Yeah.
They're not playing that aggressive.
Lots of hustle points by both teams, even coming off the
Exactly.
bench players who haven't played a lot.
And that's what I call those hustle points. Frierson, a freshman at 5'6". How many points did you say she had?
She led all scorers with 21 points.
She
had a heck of a game.
She had a great game.
So freshman, she's going to be something to deal with coming down in the future.
Yeah. She uses her right hand real well. She started using that other hand more. She'll be twice the threat. But Coach Fields has got to be happy. He scored above his season average, which is 27 points. And they had 41 tonight, and he kept Pioneer below what they've been averaging. They've been averaging giving up 57 points. So, and on the other hand, Pioneers kept Huron under what they've been averaging on points on defense. Toe-to-toe stats real quick. Both coaches emphasized that rebound number, so Pioneer did edge them 34-26. At the line, Pioneer was 13-21 for 62%. Huron was 9-14, but look at the attempts. Huron attempted 14, Pioneer 21, indicating that they were probably a little more aggressive.
Indeed.
Total turnovers, Huron 16, Pioneer 11. In the points paint, pretty even. Pioneer ended up with 28 and Huron 24. And 3-point field goal points, Huron had 9 and Huron totaled 6.
So good game between these two younger teams. They're hoping to really be in that SEC Red mix coming up in the next couple of years and learning. But it's nice to see the future and these players getting a chance and seeing what might be coming down the next couple of years.
And I think both coaches appreciate their effort and the improvement that will take place over the course of the season.
That's now going to be, 4 of the last 5 games Pioneer has won. So I'm sure Coach Hicks will be happy about that. Pioneer next is going to be away at Monroe, so that'll be another big SEC Red game there. Our next contest, our next basketball contest, we hope to have Pioneer women's hockey tomorrow, but our next contest will be both the junior varsity and varsity men's basketball games on Friday. So I believe you'll be here with us that game as well, and so we appreciate that, and we're looking forward to that. So we'll be around Friday before I take off for a trip with Michigan women's hockey to Niagara this weekend. So
I'd like to thank Kim Ahrens for the stats tonight.
She does an amazing job, and we can't thank Kim enough. She does an awesome job for us. For our color commentator, Coach Ahrens, thank you very much for joining us. Our camera person, James Wiseman, up in the stands. My name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you for supporting whichever team you were rooting for. We are very grateful. Have a great rest of the evening. Take care, everybody.